motho wa mona ha ele moetapele. Wa mona. Ke kopa re emeleng, can we just stand up and just open in a word of prayer and just dedicate this time to the Lord? Father, we want to thank you that this is the day that you have made. We can be glad and rejoice in it. Your word says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness of it thereof. We declare that South Africa belongs to you. South Africa belongs to God. Take over ownership of Father. Thank you for righteous servant leaders. Thank you for a new season and a new day and a new dispensation. We declare that this is the time. Kenako. This is the time, Father God, and we hand over South Africa back to you and say, rule and reign in South Africa for your glory and for the name of our Lord and our Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach, we thank you. And all the people in the house said, Amen. 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 Please take your seats. Please take your seats today, and we want to welcome everybody who's in the house today. Bale tswanko Limpopo, hata una le ba Limpopo. Baba tswanko kai. Go northwest, bako northwest. Bako Mpumalanga. Bako Eastern Cape. Bako Naisna. Bako Freestata. Bako kai. Bako Ekuruleni. Lefeletse. Mfuleni, anybody else who I've missed? We want to welcome all of you, and of course our host, Bakai. South Africa. Kaufela, South Africa. We just want to welcome everybody here, whatever distance you are coming from, and of course the host residents here, Gauteng. We just want to give you a warm welcome to this time. And we are here. The theme today is power for the people, power to the people. Power to the people. It's time that citizens become active and citizens know that they are able to bring change. Every citizen. One of the things I always say is that if you study the word politician, the original meaning of the word politician, politimiao, it means good citizen. How many are good citizens here? Okay, Baba, I'm going to see the good citizen about so let's. So, good citizen is a politician. Whether you are in parliament or not, you are a good citizen, which means we're all politicians here and we can all make a change. But we want to welcome you to this time, and this is about a vehicle for change. This is a new vehicle for change in our country. And so we want to welcome all the organizations that are here. There's 12, I believe, represented. If I was speaking prophetically, I would say 12 is the number for government. Is this a prophetic sign? So 12 represents government and governance. May there be good governance in South Africa. So collectively here we represent millions of people in 12 municipalities. Again, the number 12 for governance. 12 municipalities represented here. And the main theme and the main reason why we are collected here is to do what? Is to pledge our commitment. Is to bring about a pledge, to bring an introduction and to pledge our commitment to our villages, to our communities, to our cities, to our towns around what we will do if and when elected. And these are not empty pledges. These are not lip service pledges, but these are pledges which we trust will be fulfilled by all. So I want to welcome you. Make yourselves at home, and we want to open and start. We've opened in prayer, but I would like to invite you now to please stand with me as we sing our national anthem. Thank you. You can play the anthem. That's not the anthem. Thank you. Media team, do we have the anthem? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We can, if you don't have it, we are people who sing. We can sing our own anthem. Thank you, Lekadula Fafatse. You can sit down. Our next item is where many of you will know that we're all here because there's been a change because of a constitutional court judgment in terms of elections and how elections are being conducted. And the next item is going to be a video actually explaining the model of direct elections. So please, I want to welcome you as we together watch this video explaining the new model of direct elections.
It counts for the political party you vote for, not for you. Have you ever wondered how your vote actually counts? What happens after you put an X next to your choice and leave the voting station? The answer is, it counts for the political party you vote for, not for you, and not for your community. You're not directly voting for the best suited people for the job. Instead, you're voting for a middleman, a small group of political party insiders who decide who goes to government to represent you. And we've seen what happens. Those loyal to party big shots are put into government no matter whether they wear a blue, red, or yellow t-shirt. They put the party first and you last. And the corrupt are always protected. Up until recently, we have had no option other than to vote for a political party in national and provincial elections. But a new road to change is being built, one that will bring real change to South Africa. Last year, the Constitutional Court ruled that our electoral system is unconstitutional. Parliament was ordered to change electoral laws to allow for independents not aligned to any political party to run for office. This means our electoral system has to change. Now, instead of voting for a political party, you can directly elect individuals and community-led organizations who you believe are best suited to represent you in government. Power back to us, the people. Now, communities can now form their own organizations to contest elections via Section 15A of the Electoral Commission Act, comprising of ratepayers, associations, traditional leaders, business chamber leaders, religious leaders, and youth formations. It's up to communities to choose their own Springbok team to run municipalities, towns, and cities. The best of the best. This new road is the solution to political party dominance that has taken power away from us and our communities. It will empower government to work for us and bring about a government of citizens who are honest, equipped, and passionate about making our country better. We, the people, will have direct relationships with our public representatives. They answer to us. We set the agenda, they implement it, and if they fall short, we remove them. It's that simple. Political parties are all we've ever known in democratic South Africa. It's time to imagine a different future where the people are back in the driving seat. The truth is, political parties are the minority. We are the majority. It's time to take our power back from political parties and bring about real change.
Viva direct elections, viva! Viva taking the power back, viva! Well, I realize I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Pearl Lastwanake Khomotso Coupe. It's my privilege to be here with you today, and my next item is to introduce a fantastic, wonderful man. He flew all the way from Kapa, Cape Town, to be with us here today. He is the chairperson of One South Africa. Hallelujah. One South Africa stands for yeah, hallelujah, ke moruti gape. Yeah, ne. Le reng amen fela. Yeah. I'm a lawyer, but I'm also Kimuruti, so hallelujah comes naturally to me. Yeah, living ameni fela. So, One South Africa representing unity, representing togetherness, because kopanoke matla, unity is power. Kopanoke? 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 Kematla, unity is power, and he is the chairperson of One SA, and also a lawyer, not a liar, but a lawyer. And he's been very, very instrumental in terms of bringing a lot of the change. I know he doesn't like me to say this, but the Constitutional Court case that was brought before last year, the June decision that now allows for independent candidates to stand for office without belonging to a political party. It was Dr. Michael Louis who pushed it in the Western Cape Court, then pushed it further to the Constitutional Court, where we got a final ruling. So he doesn't like me to mention it, but I'm overruling him today, because history must be correct and it must be accurate. So help me please in welcoming Dr. Michael Louis as he comes to address you around the direct model.
Well, good morning, everybody. Really great to be with you, and really very enlightening, because, you know, a lot of people think that this journey has been an easy journey, but it's actually started in May 2017. And it's been a long road, and really I'm feeling very blessed, very honored to see all of you today, because these things aren't always easy, and somebody has to do it. So allow me just firstly to really welcome all of you today, especially our mayoral candidates that came in from all over, and then you, all the community forums that have offered your time and commitment to come, and then some of our LAG members, our council members, and all those members that are looking at our direct Facebook, and especially the media that is so kind to us to be here to cover us. Do you think our country needs change? So everybody thinks that this was just something that happened, but why I'm pleased today is because the Constitution of our country, and we say we are a constitutional state, says something very, very important. It says that every single man and woman will have the right to stand in public office. Do you think that that's right, yes or no? And isn't it important that we need to fight to make secure that that right is embedded for generations? The second one is the Freedom Charter. In 1955 said the following, that we will all strive together, sparing neither strength nor courage, until the people shall govern. Not the political parties shall govern, the people shall govern. And that we will see and work until democratic change is won in our country. And colleagues, that's why we're here today. It's not for the faint-hearted. It takes a supernatural called human being to come and do what you are doing. And that's why truly you are blessed and honored to be here today. But this has been a process of 5 years, and guess what? From a process that started 5 years ago, I'm pleased to announce that as at today, there are more than 1,000 independent candidates that have registered and over 100 community forums throughout South Africa. And that is a great feat. And many individuals will ask, why so passionate and why is OSA so called to do what we are doing? And I must say that many of you here today, but especially individuals like our chief activist, Mmusi Maimane, and sorry, Musi, I saw in my introduction, I didn't welcome you, but obviously I welcome our chief activist, Musi. But many of us, but especially Musi and I, this is my 28th year on this political landscape. And this is Musi's roundabout his 15th year. But can you imagine that we are privileged as OSA to have a man at the young age of 35 to be the leader of the opposition in this country? Do you think that was great or not? And do you think that when he or I tells you that we've been in the belly of the beast, that there are certain things that are wrong, that you deserve to listen? Do you think so? Because only once you've been in the belly of the beast do you really understand what's going on. So the first thing is that we realized as OSA is that we've got a dysfunctional political system. And why have we got a dysfunctional political system? It's because it all goes about people that want a job and people that where the leaders are in control of who votes for them, and it's factional politics. Isn't that so? And we need to change it, because you know that any new person that wants to come in, it's all controlled at the top, and it's very difficult to get new political leaders onto the landscape. The second thing is, do you know that in our country, there's 16 million people that vote in our country. 18 million voters do not vote. And many political writers, especially to an individual like myself, and obviously to Musi, would say, but why are you trying to break away the opposition and to fractionalize the opposition? But colleagues, if there's 18 million people that aren't voting, don't you think we're trying to get a new electoral system to let those 18 million people go to the polls? and not trying to break away what political parties already have. Because we do believe in a multi-party political system, and we do believe in power to the people, and we do believe that we need to create a structure where individuals can vote for individuals that represent their interests, their cultures, and who they really are. And that's what OSA is about. Then the reason why we need to change is out of the 257 municipalities that there are already, 200 are totally bankrupt. 200 of the 257. So do we as OSA go and say that the municipality structures and the political parties have been successful? No. We have to devise a different system, which is our community system, where we've gone to those municipalities and said to them, you as the leaders in your municipality, you step up to the plate and you now lead. And that's what led to 100. And I can tell you now, ek dink die mense moet pas op. There's something that's going to really happen, and that individuals must really look at it. Last but not least is to create a system where our leaders are accountable. Nobody really knows who their political leaders are, especially at national and provincial level. And that's why we need to change our electoral system to divide South Africa into a constituency-based system that the people in Limpopo, the people in Northwest, the people in the Free State can vote for their own leaders and choose the 400 people that go to a political party. And what we are submitting, and especially, you wouldn't know it, but OSA is the main driver of the new bill that's currently in Parliament with COPE, and we are driving that South Africa must be divided into constituencies, and no longer can political parties just put on a placard with the president's face and you don't know who you're voting for. The time is coming, and especially with the young people. Do you know that there's 6 to 8 million young people that haven't voted? And the young people have said, you tell us who our leaders are and we will vote for them. Put their faces on the placards and give us their CVs and we will vote for them. And don't you think that that's what is needed to change our country? The unfortunate thing is that about 3 weeks ago, that now that the bill is in Parliament, I promise you, I woke up one morning and I was totally devastated. That the governing party, the ANC, said that they are not going to support the current submission of the bill in Parliament to divide South Africa into constituencies. They're going to change the Electoral Act just to say political party, stroke, candidate, and they're going to make it, they didn't say that, but I can tell you, they're going to make it as difficult as possible for independents to stand, because they are a loyalty club and they do not want independents to succeed. They do not want independents to succeed. Luckily, OSA is not only about independent candidacy. OSA is about electoral reform and changing our total electoral system. And that's why, colleagues, this what we're doing is so important, that you work day and night to have a success, because if we don't proof of concept that every single community forum that is here succeeds and gains as much attention as possible, after 1 November, and we push in Parliament that we are the alternative and the electoral system must change, do you think they're going to believe us, yes or no? They're not going to believe us. And that's why we as OSA will do everything, working with you day and night, to make sure that your community forums succeed. It is so critical for all of us. Just before I say something to you, I'm wanting to say something from my heart and give you a personal testimony as an encouragement to all those candidates that are here today. In 1994, I was one of the founders of the Christian Democrats, And in my government in the Western Cape, I was only one person. Only one person. So most of the people in Parliament, my colleagues, my honourable members, think one person can't make a difference. They didn't greet me, they didn't say anything to me. But I'm wanting to ask you, do you think one person can make a difference? Or do you think you must have a large opposition party to govern? The reason, the only reason why I'm standing here with great confidence and great authority is that in my government, I was one person, I was the balance of power, I ended up as a minister in the cabinet, and I had the largest portfolios of the whole government, not because I'm wanting to tell you how great I am, but more to tell you, never ever let anybody tell you you have to be part of a big party to make a difference. It doesn't work. And secondly, watch it for 1 November. I'm going to be very interested to see all those phone calls that are going to go to the League activists, where all our mayoral candidates are going to be the kingmakers and the balance of power. And then all these things that they thought these little small parties are going to be the ones that will have to form the government. And we need to speak faith, and that is definitely how we're going to do it. So I'm wanting to say to you that how's OSA going to do it? We're going to focus on our electoral reform bill, which is critical because this, what we're doing today, is a process to 2024. This is not the end step. This is only the beginning. We have to and must work 24 hours a day. Once this is finished, that we can have electoral reform and change our electoral reform process, and that we, the people, will truly govern, not only on local level, but also national and provincially. And there's two things that we're going to do. The one thing is we're going to work hard on the bill, but there's something that I'm wanting to say today, and I hope my League activist isn't going to take out his missile to shoot at me, which sometimes I do get, but not too often, but I mean, I do get there. But I'm going to make a recommendation in our bill. And if you like it, clap. But if you don't like it, don't clap. All right? But I'm going to submit to our council the following. That in our electoral bill of 2024, we are going to make elections mandatory. That people must vote. Do you know that there's 21 countries in the world that if they don't vote, they get a punitive penalty if they don't vote? We cannot and must not allow the people in our country not to vote and allow a small majority of people to govern our country anymore. So you can support it or you don't need to support it. What is OSA's role? OSA's role is we are wanting to have a generosity gene. What is that generosity gene? We're going to really stand and educate and put out training programs to transform your minds and make you statesmen and stateswomen. And so next month, OSA is going to have an academy where we're going to have business programs that you can't just go to government without being trained and equipped. And most of those programs cost us 45,000 Rand per person. And the good news is that as soon as all the candidates are appointed to local government, immediately we'll start with the program so that we can sponsor you, so that you can go onto those programs. Last but not least, what will OSA do is that we're going to launch in the end of the month an independent candidate association. It's like the Law Society, the Medical Association, that we can spearhead the best practices that individuals and statesmen that are independent candidates can be educated to the best in the world, that we can stand together, that we can look at discipline, hold ourselves accountable, and that will be launched as soon as we know who our candidates are, that we can nominate our board, our chairman, but all the documents, the registration, everything has been done, even the videos and the web pages, so that we can show that we are forced to be reckoned with. And I think you can give that a round of applause. Last but not least, from my heart to your heart and from OSA's heart to your heart, thank you, candidates, for standing and being available and doing all this. To all the mayoral candidates, thank you so much for having the calling and the obedience to represent us. That is absolutely outstanding. And I close by saying that there's that wonderful saying by Emerson that says, do not go where the path may lead. Create a new path and leave a trail. Do you agree? Yes. We are looking at those TV screens. You heard that we've got a war room. The war room's up and going. We've got big screens watching all of you. We'll be watching you with an eagle eye, praying for you with an eagle eye, and wishing you everything of the best. God bless you.
Powerful words by Dr. Michael Louis. Don't go and follow the path, but create a new what? A new path and leave a trail so that we can be trailblazers. Thank you, Dr. Michael Louis. And I didn't want you to sit down because you are now going to present to us. You mentioned the 4 mayoral candidates. So we want to know who they are. We want to know them, and I'm going to ask Dr. Michael Louis to come back and please present these 4 mayoral candidates to us. I believe 1 or 2 of them may be speaking by video, but it's time we know who our leaders are. So back to you, Michael.
Thank you. So obviously when you pioneer something, we really have to get the best of the best. Because otherwise, if you don't get your best leaders, how are we going to do this, you know? I promise you, I cannot believe the caliber of leaders that OSA has got to the table. They are mind-blowing, incredible. And like I said, I was leading a political party before. It's just a different league. So what we thought is, we're only going to get 4 candidates. 1 is by virtue of a video. But just to give a test me that you can see their caliber, learn their heart, encourage them, and thank you to all of them for coming today. And so the first one is Bishop Jones, that we've all fallen in love with him because he really is just outstanding. So let me just give you a little bit of his CV. So Bishop Jones was ordained as a minister in 1985 in the Baptist Convention of South Africa. He was appointed acting General Secretary of the Baptist Convention between 1994 and 1996. He lived in the USA for 5 years and obtained a master's degree in theology. He founded the Trinity Community Church in 2002, which has 4 branches. He was appointed chairperson of the Parole Board of Correctional Services between 2005 and 2018. He was elected chairperson of the Greater Vaal Pastoral Forum from 2011 to 2018. And then in 2018, he formed the New Horizon movement, which is the movement, the community forum movement, that's now going to be in the Umfuleni area. They are going wild. Bishop Jones.
Thank you. 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 Citizens, take over. Citizens, take over. Take over. Citizens, by fire, by force, by force, by fire. Thank you. Program Director, Dr. Michael Louis, and Chief Activist, Mmusi Maimane, the leadership of AUSA, fellow candidates, and fellow civic organizations from across the country, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I give respect to the two leaders of One South Africa. I read somebody saying, you can't resolve problems with the same mentality that created them. The problems we have in local government were created by politics, and therefore you can't use politics to resolve them. Dr. Michael Louis with Mmusi Maimane, when they left Parliament, they did not start a political party. They started a movement. They needed to go a step higher so that you can be able to resolve the problems created by politics. It is for this reason that we would give our respect to you. Please join me, let's respect and acknowledge these two leaders and say thank you. Thank you. It was on the 1st of November, 1986. I got married, and I've been married for 35 years now. And we took our wedding pictures in the offices, municipal offices in Mfuleni. The grass was green, the flowers had blossomed, there was irrigation, there was smell of freshness. After 1994, none of that existed. And if any young person says he wants to take his wedding pictures at Mfuleni offices, would definitely need to have his head checked. Because there's no more grass there. There are no flowers. But you know what? We all said, maybe in exile there was no grass. Like every abused person, you give excuses for your abusers. Then garbage collection began to be irregular. And then we thought, maybe this is too difficult for them. Then there was problems with the billing system. It went on and on and on until the municipality had completely collapsed to a point that Mfuleni, we have had 2 sets of administrators, and they have all failed. When I hear the president of the country saying, ANC, it's renewing itself, Mfuleni, we are saying, no, Mr. President, actually the community is renewing itself. We, the people, actually, we are saying, we are sorry that we trusted you for 27 years when you did not trust yourself. The people in Mfuleni, the leadership of the ANC, is on transition for some time now, since 2018. There is a transitional executive since 2018. We trusted people who could not run their own political party. We gave them 6 billion to run municipality. We are renewing ourselves. We are saying we are sorry. We trusted you when you could not run your own political party. We gave you government. We are sorry. We are renewing ourselves. But we are saying we're not going to make that mistake again. We have learned, we have seen, and this time we have decided that there's a one route into local government: depoliticizing. We are depoliticizing local government, and we are professionalizing local government. This is not just a song. I see everybody now is talking about skills, but here is it. We are not only saying we're professionalizing local government. In our own PR list, we have 2 engineers in our PR list. This is not a slogan. We have a lady who has got PhD in finance management. He's a lecturer. This is not a slogan. We mean business when we are saying we are professionalizing local government. But another thing, we are inviting people of Mfuleni to say, be part of history. This has never been done before. We are inviting to say it would be known tomorrow that you were part of the people who put their X next to New Horizon movement and all these movements. Make history and let us do this, and we can do it, and we are going to do it on the 1st of November. Thank you very much.
That was great, Bishop. Thank you. Well, thank you. Well, I've been surrounded by a lot of strong women in my life, and really another great strong leader that we've chosen to in the municipality of Parys, Mugwate municipality, and it's person by the name of Selma Koch. She's a community activist with a passion and well-being of people and the environment. She studied political science at Northwest University, but can you believe it, she's a professional diplomat in Germany for a number of years. In France. Oh, wow, I thought it was in Germany. But in France. She had a career switch in 1997 when she moved to the private sector and with IT and project management. She was also a registered mediator with the former Nederlandse Mediation Institute. I think that's going to hold you in good stead in mediating with the other political parties. She was also involved in community projects in the Netherlands. She returned to South Africa in 2017 after 24 years abroad. She became involved in community projects, starting up dining and dignity soup kitchen projects, helped organize the first Parys Arts Festival, became involved in epilepsy where she painted murals, and is now supervising the vegetable gardens in her area. She's a member of the Vaal Action Group, Land Care, and she's also chairperson of the Green Innovators South Africa, as well as the chairman of the Nkwati Residents Association. Do you think she's qualified for this job? You promise? Okay, let's hear from her.
Okay, all power to the people. Amen. Thank you, guys. This, if you look at them, you just see one big heart. But they are hearts of lions, all right? So these are just some of the candidates that will be standing and some volunteers. Tembi's here. Vredefort, we have 5 towns, all right? So Nangwati municipality is 5 towns. One is so far away, we don't even know they exist, all right? It's like at Sasol, wherever. Vredefort, Skonkenville, Vredefort. These are the 3 candidates in those wards. We have tried to fill all 19 wards in that municipality. So you guys can go, thanks. It's super, thank you. You know, it's funny. It's funny, everybody says Amandla, and then? All right, where I come from, they say Amandla, Wena. So Michael talks about being in the belly of the beast. We've tried to protect some people from that beast because we have a certain Secretary General. That's his lair. All right? Free State, Paris, that's where he comes from. So talking about the belly of the beast, we feel it. We experience it every day when we're looking for venues, when we're looking for people to stand. We're not going to stand for intimidation anymore. We put down, we're going to make it public. We're going to take it to the press. If people are threatened, intimidated, bullied, boycotted in any way, we will go to the press. All right? We will not stand for it. Our community has suffered a long time. You saw I was away for 24 years. I've learned a lot. And I've come back every year and I see things deteriorate. And I think, okay, something pushed me and said it's time to come back to South Africa. That's why when we designed our logo, all of a sudden we have "it's time" underneath. I didn't ask for that. That happened by itself. So it's time for change in our country. How can we live next to a river and not have running water? How is that possible? So New Horizon movement, you better do your best. Because your water is going our way. And we don't get water from Rand Water, we get water from the Vaal River. All right? I think if we ask any of the municipalities here, you are facing the same problems we have. Yeah? Sewage running back into houses. Where have you ever heard of that? All right? Municipality that cannot even support its own expenditure. When the auditing is done, there's money that cannot be accounted for. How is that possible? Let me tell you what happened. We were sleeping. We were sleeping and we were trusting people who could not be trusted. You know, in every municipality, in every political party, there are good people. Really, there are good people and they are trying their very, very best. All right? But their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. They can't do anything. Even if they want to. I'm sure our mayor, if she could do something, she would go for it. But people have been caught up, imprisoned, and they can't move. But can you feel the energy here? Yes. Can you feel it? We are free. The change can start 2nd of November, or even at midnight on 1 November. The change can start immediately. We do not report and wait for red tape. We can change, we can do the change immediately. Huh? Let's do it, guys. Man, there's so much energy in this room. Nothing is stopping us. We are the majority. We've heard it confirmed and confirmed and confirmed. And I just want to say, go for it. We've got nothing to lose. What do we have now? We have absolutely nothing to lose. And So I'm not gonna take up much of your time. I just want to say, Seshaba Peli, go for it, all right? Let's give back our communities their voices. It can't be that after 24 years, a granny is still living in a shack, or people are waiting for permanent houses for 17 years. That's not possible. We cannot have wards in our town where Jojo tanks are up and kids have to queue in the morning so that they can be clean for school. How is that possible in this country where there's enough for everybody? Yes. All right? Let's make that change. Let us be the change. Now it's a time you go to the municipality, you go to their website, there's lovely mission and vision and everything, but it's words. The values and the behavior has missed each other. Yes, yes, we will do service, but there's no service delivery. Yes? We have to bring the values and the behavior together. Decide what are the values important in your community. Go for it. Install it in your community. Live it. All right? That's what I feel we need to do in our municipality. We need to get the values back into our community. And maybe move from a stakeholder, move back to our stakeholder status. In the municipality, there's just a relationship between local council and the municipal machinery. Us, the people, we've been removed. We have to scream and shout for people to come and fix stuff. All right? That has to end today. Yes. Today. Yes. All right? We will go on. We will fight this battle because we can feel the pressure. We can feel it. But you are all warriors. Go for it. Amandla.
Do you think she can lead, yes or no? So now we're going to go to the video. Unfortunately, Ruben Richards is not with us because he lives in Ceres. It would have taken him 4 hours to the airport to come down. But he's got a tape for us, and he started the Cedarburg first, and you can definitely see what they're doing. An incredible, incredible leader. And are we ready with the video?
My name is Dr. Ruben Richards. I am a citrus and vegetable farmer in the Cedarburg region, more specifically in Clanwilliam. I also love writing, so I'm an author and I've written a few books on the history of South Africa. More recently, I've been requested to take a leadership position in an organization called the Cedarburg First Residents Association. And it is that association that will be contesting the local government elections on the 1st of November 2021. We, as a group of residents, have interests as residents, and we want to see a municipal authority that services the interests of residents and not the ideological interests of a political party. The local residents are sick and tired of having to kowtow or succumb to the selfish interests of political parties. This particular region has experienced them all. They've had all the dominant political parties in control of the municipality, and none of them have been able to service the needs of the ordinary residents. And that is why the Cedarburg First Residents Association.
These things happen. So our next mayoral candidate is a very special person that I've got to know. And he actually started as a dairy farmer in the 1980s, working on his farm, and then he built himself up in an area called Queenstown in the Eastern Cape. I went to an Eastern Cape school, and we went to the same school, so that's why I've been following his career, really so great. And he's formed a community forum called Let's Talk Mupani, and just the most incredible person, one of the most humble people that you know, and one of the most astute business people in this country, and started the cool drink Twizzler. Does any of you know Twizzler? Yes. Oh, well, you're looking at the owner. And he donated a whole lot of Twizzlers for us in the war room, which we're very excited about. But a great businessman that said his town is gone and he as a business leader must stand up. He employs more than 1,000 people, and I don't think we can welcome a greater leader to lead us. So, Ken Clark.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you. And it's great to be amongst all the independents today. Awesome, well done. Oh, ufuna nithethe isiXhosa? Ewe, molweni kunjani? I feel a bit shy talking Xhosa sometimes because my vocabulary is a little bit not so lekker. So I will put a bit in. So ndothetha kancinci, ze nive noko ndiyakwazi. So, why does a person in business get involved in politics, which is such a dirty game? And frankly, I've been an activist in Queenstown, Kimani, and the surrounds for a number of years. I'm an outspoken individual. I speak my mind. I don't hold back. And I've ruffled a few feathers, and I've got a few things done, but I haven't been able to get change to happen. And I started 4 years ago by informing the Eastern Cape government that the Enoch Makajima municipality was going down the tubes at the rate of about 10 million rand a month. And we offered some assistance to try and help them to get the story right, and we were really just shown the door. That then led to court cases, which achieved a little bit of success, but no change. And then I met Dr. Michael Louis, and he told me about the independent movement and what we could achieve as independents. And I honestly believe that if we're going to save our country, our constitution is a threat, our democracy is in jeopardy, then we as business people need to step up to the plate. Because it is only when we do that and we can fundamentally change what the economy of this country looks like, can we get a 5% growth rate happening again? And can we give hope to the people that are unemployed? It is only then that that can happen, because the backbone of the economy starts at municipal level. It does not start at government level. And so, as somebody who's invested my life's work and savings and money into my business, which is in Enoch Makajima as well as a few other places, I felt that the time was now. The time was now to take the bull by the horns and try and make a difference. I don't think this is going to be an easy task. It's going to be a very difficult task. And people will say to you, so what are you going to do? And, you know, I'm very reluctant to make promises that I can't keep. So what we said we would do is we would commit ourselves to ethical leadership and dedicated service. And really that's a very, very broad statement. And when you talk about ethical leadership, it means how you're going to reform the institution that is the municipality. How are you going to make it functional? How, in business, we talk about delighting your customer. How are we going to delight our customers, which are our ratepayers? That is something which is not even in the vocabulary of government at present. How are we going to do that? And that is, we're going to cut costs and spend more money on the things that our people want. We're going to fix the sewage that's running into rivers every single day, into people's backyards. We're going to fix all of that stuff, step by step. But we cannot do it by ourselves. We need the support of our communities. Our communities need to understand that we are there for them. We are only there because of them. And therefore, we need their support to make this work. So I appeal to all the people of Enoch Makajima. Support the independents. We're there for you. We will make it happen. I was at a small little village called Pakamisa a little while ago. And I was speaking to some of the community leaders there, and they said to me, Abana cebo. And I just want to say, Bahlali, sine cebo tina. Sine cebo tina. Kasniki chance sanibonisa basa ukwazi intoni tina. Ndiyabulela.
That's great, Ken. That's really great. The last mayoral candidate that we want to introduce to you, and the reason why, if I don't mind just focusing on him, why his story is so important, he was actually the mayor of Knysna. And because of ethics and values and morals, he decided that he wants to jump ship and he resigned. But I can tell you now, one of the greatest challenges that independent candidates are going to have, you are going to be approached and be offered things and challenges that you will never ever have had in your life. And that's why let's listen to a man that's gone through it, that understands it. I give you Mark Willemse from Knysna.
Thank you, Michael. Evil prevails when good men do nothing. That is how I live my life, and that is what I have committed to. If we do nothing, you can be as good as you like. Evil will prevail. Doesn't matter how good you are. And the speakers you have said there are lots of good people around. Everywhere there are good people. But if we do nothing, nothing will change. And that is what we need to do. I want to tell a funny story. The last time I met our chief activist, he also flew me up to Johannesburg. And we were in the same organization together. And he actually asked me to resign as mayor. He was obviously under orders from the Federal Council and didn't have the full picture of what was happening in Knysna, what is happening on the ground. And that is indicative of what political parties are. They are far away from what happens. They sit in Joburg, they sit in Cape Town, but they do not understand what is happening on the ground. That is why it is up to us as independents to take that lead, to get to the people and not be ruled by somebody that sits in a high office, that dictates policies and principles that have no bearing on your community at all, that cannot affect change, because it is the party statement, and that is all it is about, the political party. And that is why we need change, to move away from political parties. Us as individuals never stand back. I was intimidated. I was threatened. My political career will go nowhere if I do not resign as mayor. I took a stance to vote my DA colleague, and I'm naming the party, my DA colleague who I knew to be corrupt. I took a stance and voted with my conscience, and I voted her out, knowing the consequences. It needs to happen. We need to eradicate corruption. And it happens in every party, not just the ANC, not just the EFF. So colleagues, sacrifice is what happens. And I'm here today, as all of you, because we believe. We believe as individuals we can make a change. It is our commitment to our communities, our belief system, that we can take these individuals, and I'm saying individuals, because, and we've said it, one person can make a change. Michael has said it. One person can make a change. But it's all about your mindset. That positive mindset that feeds through all of us here. The power of positive thinking, the power to believe that you can make a change. And I want to leave that with you. I'm not here for a position. I'm not here for anything else. I'll sacrifice again if I need to sacrifice. Because the community needs serving with ethical serviture. Nothing else. Knysna, there we are, Kim. The Knysna Independent Movement. Knysna is a beautiful town, but it's been ruined by politics. And I want to welcome you. Anytime come to Knysna, give me a shout, and I'll take you around our beautiful town. I'm in business. I own a business. I'm in the tourism business. I take people out into our ocean, onto our lagoon, and show them what they can achieve if you put your minds together and work together with people. I'll take community people out that have never ever been on a boat, never been out into the ocean, and I teach them what can be achieved. We run a program in our town where I take sea cadets and put them through our system to boost them, to give them a glimmer of hope at what can be achieved. And that is what we all need to do. Just give somebody a glimmer of hope. Just a little glimmer of hope. Because that glimmer of hope can be ignited into a flame that's going to be burning amongst all of us to take this organization to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ntate. And there we have our mayoral candidates that have been presented to you, different backgrounds. Bishop, who came and you know, with his team, and we've had from Mwate also, New Horizon. We went to Mwate, and we heard from also our sister Selma, and she also talked about being a change. And one thing that's common from all our mayoral candidates, all of them said it's time for change. Genako. And yeah, we've had representation from NISA. We've had businessmen also who have presented. We've had Dr. Ruben Richards also, who came to speak from Cedarburg. And they're all saying one thing, that we can all be the change. I think you should look to your neighbor and tell them you can be the change. Yeah. Look to the other neighbor, say, wena, Amanda, awena, you be the change. The change must start with you. The change must start with you. All saying one message. One message. Siburusaka, my Afrikaans is not good, but the Afrikaans that I do know is genoeg is genoeg. Yeah, and vandaag is vandaag. Yeah. And there's another G word which I will not mention. But basically, that's what everybody is. I once preached that in church without knowing what it meant, because I heard Leon Schuster say that word without fully understanding the full implications. Yeah, but so as South Africans, we are musical. We can't do this without having a musical break. So our next item will be a musical item as we sing about Africa and our African dream. And I have the pleasure of introducing my youngest, my last born. Her name is Kelita, the voice of God. Kelita. African dream, our African. It's a dream for Africa. It's a dream for South Africa, for every province, a dream for Gauteng, a dream for Limpopo, a dream for Northwest, a dream for Eastern Cape, a dream for Northern Cape, a dream for Western Cape, a dream for Free State, a dream for Mpumalanga. Every single one of the 9 provinces, it's a dream. Well, it's my pleasure to just introduce our next speaker. But again, One South Africa, he represents One South Africa. I know he needs no introduction to most of us. Dr. Michael Louis has already spoken about him, and so I won't stay long because you know him, and he's been defined by somebody who has a voice and has not been afraid to express that voice. May many more be raised like that. We heard that evil prevails because good people do nothing. Yes. Well, so it's time to do something. Yes. And before I bring him on, I need you to tell somebody else, 3 people, do something. Do something. Dira something. Do something. Tell them to do it better than Nike. Nike says that they do it. Do it better than Nike. Do something. But it's my very pleasure. But it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, who happens to be the CEO, CAO, Chief Activist Officer, none other than Mmusi Maimane. Let's welcome him as he addresses us.
Amandla Sanbonani dumelang Khuyamore Molweni Macheroni Likai. It feels good to be here. I want to tell you, Hori, you can't say you are building. You know, people come into any meeting, they say, why are there so many different colors? I say because wait to go Soweto 7 colors on a Sunday. You are talking about a beautiful dish that is presented. You know what I mean? But I celebrate today that there are not only red, green, yellow, but there's black, white, Indian, colored, which means when you build One South Africa, you are saying all of us are the people of our beautiful nation. Amandla! I say, together today, we must always unite. Because in truth, the criminals are united. Rona, if we are divided, they are going to keep winning. Our job is to unite behind this historic mission that has been echoed by so many. How? What's substitute? Hey, what's about sundowns? No, I can't speak about any other club. Coretta Scott's King once said, freedom is never won. It must be fought for in every generation. Today we are joining the struggle that has been waged for so long. When people stood up together in all their colors, back in the fight against apartheid, they stood together and said, let the people govern. They were led in the civil rights movement in the US by people like Martin Luther King, who stood up together and said, we must fight for freedom and let freedom reign. They stood together in all different continents, said, together we are one. Today, I want to say to you, when they got together and started the UDF and ultimately won against apartheid, they thought the struggle was finished. But I'm here to say to you today something, today we are brought together in this place to take that struggle forward that says freedom is not complete when people don't have water, don't have electricity, and don't have jobs. It is up to you and I to continue that struggle for freedom. We are not free until the last one is, said Nelson Mandela. Our people are hurting. The last 2 years, 2020 and 2021 has been very difficult for people. Many people have watched loved ones die because of this pandemic of COVID. At the same time, we've watched businesses shut down. It's been hard. It's been made hard by the fact that for so many people, they can't even find their jobs. 3 out of 4 young people cannot find a job in this country. Have you ever... I don't know when this government sleeps at night and how it feels when our young people are wandering in the streets finding out where their next meal is coming from. Kubuyima. Kunzima. It's tough for the people. The people are suffering. The people are hungry. The people don't have the basics. But you know who has everything? The politicians. The last 2 years has been a new Christmas. Straight and 2 years. While people are starving, they are looting left, right, and center. Last year, we saw 431 million rands looted, all in the name of COVID-19. Nabali busy. We've seen schools being empty for months. They pretend they've been fumigated while people could not eat. Reboni this Royal Parka scandal. The motorcycles in the Eastern Cape. The ambulance. What busy these guys? But this week we hit an all new low. Ken, they built an unbelievable stadium. Babita, a chicken shed. A stadium for 15 million rands. Ke ba bone le bo Shimza ba zama go spina garai. Shimza wa paeza ngwaneso. Hai. Local government capture will make state capture at a national level look like a picnic. They've been feasting. But instead of fixing the problems of our people, they call digital vibes. The government is launching footpaths. Wait, a footpath, and they call it a road. Batsa fela di plastiki ba mole ba sega. Kunzima. Mark, you are correct. Evil does triumph when good people do nothing. But what is worse is that for so many of our political parties, they want to reduce this election to race, to divisions, to history, and they forget that actually this election is about people deserving better and deserving a leadership that comes from there. They forget that, in fact, what the people deserve is a leadership with a vision to direct this nation to economic prosperity and social cohesion. I am sick and tired of politics of division. Our education system is failing today. Our young people are falling apart and are falling behind. Not only are they unemployed, but they are unemployable. Fellow South Africans, members of the media, Maloba, I was with Bishop. I went to Mfuleni. I'll never forget for as long as I live. I sat next to Ngoko on the side of a clinic on a hot summer day. I said, Ngugu, what are you doing here? She said to me, Mtanam, I've been here at the clinic since 7 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's been no service. I said to her, Mama, but you must vote for change. I said, I'm tired for empty promises. Which is why today can never be a manifesto launch, because the moment you say there's a manifesto, you are almost creating a list of empty promises. We've heard it all before. Maybe this, maybe that, but we've heard it all before. For that granny, she said to me, Mtanam, I don't even know if I can muster up the energy to go and vote, because what is there to vote for? She's sick and tired of politics. She said, I'm scared of one thing today. Not only that COVID will get to me first, but then if it rains out here, my underlying comorbidities would be affected even worse. I was stumped for words. I looked at Mayoral. I didn't know what to say to her. I could feel her pain, because she's expressing a pain of so many in our country. She's expressing the pain of that child who I saw in Mfuleni skipping over sewage while inhaling the most dangerous of all, attracting diseases to her little lungs in a way that I'd never seen before. I've seen it for so many. When you go to certain communities and when you arrive there, you say, Mar, why are there two South Africas? A South Africa where some people are wealthy and living in the best lives, and then how Jiga, not only 3 kilometers or 5 kilometers away, Okra Kasiada. And what defines Kasiada is that you get there are no services. Too many of our towns are divided. She was echoing the story of so many that I saw in the Northwest that said, Rona re tsebe, ga go tswa di-tender mo ntlong mo, di ntshiwa ka di-back door. Go bitsiwa batho go twe tleya wena o tlo tšea tender and represent a particular political party. Ne re le go Sekgopo, kgoši yaka, re le ka mokana ga rena. When you know politics are rotten, even the legitimate king is no longer recognized. They want the one who will do just their work in a political environment. That's when you know that politics have captured local government, that we don't even know when they say they are going to deliver. Or are they being honest, or do they know what we are talking about? I want to tell you what this election is about. Don't make it about what it's not. Make it what it's about. And I want to say the following things. This election is about telling the corrupt that their days are numbered. Mawahambe amasela mawahambe. This election is about taking power back to the people. It's about saying we are tired of councillors who are imported elsewhere, brought into our towns, and then when they are finished, they start earning their first salary. They buy 4x4s and leave the town to go live somewhere else. We are tired. It's about giving power back to the people. Oh. This election is about saying all the people that got jobs because of their political connections and they are now water engineers, yet they can't even spell water. It's about telling those people who know we are coming to bring a professional public service that's going to change the people's lives. Oh, this election is not about yesterday. Our yesterday is with us. It's painful. But this election is about tomorrow. We can't keep going just for the sake of keeping going. You do what you do, you'll get what you've always got. This is time for change. Now I call it Independence Day. I call it Independence Day. 1 November will be remembered as a day that restored hope to our people, that tomorrow can be better. It breaks my heart when I bump into families, black and white, saying we are uncertain about the future of our kids. I'm a husband to one wife, a father to 3 kids. And sometimes you wake up and you think to yourself, Kalaletso, Kutlwano and Daniel, where are they going to go? And you realize, for no, if it is to be done, it is up to you and I. And I know one thing. When we started One South Africa, we said indeed it cannot be a South Africa that is divided. When we started One South Africa, we said communities can lead, and that men and women who live in those areas are the people who know best what must happen in those areas. I am so proud of the associations that are here today that are present. For me, this tells me that actually politics is far too important to be left up to politicians. It ought to be brought to the people who know what's happening. I'll never forget sitting with Ken Clark in his office, him telling me about the water problems they have. Now, if you run a soft drink business, water is essential to your business. When you employ 1,000 people, Ken, I'm sure if you shut your plant, Enoch Mgijima will not only be building stadiums, it will be building places where people don't have no hope. And I remember sitting with him, realizing, politicians want to come to them every 5 years, make fresh promises, and then disappear in that period. So one of the reasons I celebrate today is not that there's a diversity of people, of associations, and of communities. It's that actually there's a diversity of talent. You know, in a political party, to be a councillor, you have to have won a branch committee meeting. Again. That's how you become a councillor. If you want to be a mayor, you must be the regional chairperson. Rona, we are saying, no, let the best lead and let the community tell us who the best people are. That's why we are here. We are here because you can attract to public service doctors, lawyers, teachers. I have met young people of diverse talents. I have met people in South Africans who are saying, Rona, we are not here because of ideology. We are here to bring change to our towns, to our cities, to our streets. I've been so proud to hear from lawyers, musicians, sports people, sportswomen, citizens who are saying, we want to bring the most competent government. It demonstrates the power of the people. Perhaps, to quote President Obama, is to say, we are the ones we have been waiting for. We can't sit here and say, it will be someone else. Because there will be no someone else. You're it. And you are the people. It reminds me so proudly of this democratic creed that says the people shall govern. I want to speak to you who are in this room today and say this. Let me warn you. You are standing as a ward councillor. You are standing as a candidate. Today we sign a pledge that says the people shall lead and the people shall govern. It is the people who nominated you. And believe you me, from One South Africa's point of view, you fail those people, we will be the first ones to come and work with the people for them to remove you. We are not going to wait for 5 years. We are not going to wait for factions. You don't need a disciplinary. You will go. Power to the people. You can't want power to the people only when you want their votes. You must have power to the people also when they are unhappy. The reason what councillors' houses are burnt is because they go to the political party, they ask, and then no one does anything. Then the community takes power into their own hands, and then people say, we have an issue in South Africa. I am here to say to you, through the independent candidates movement, we are going to ensure more than anything that actually for all of us who are standing, for the people who are standing in communities, wherever you are, if you do not deliver for the people, let the people remove you, because the people themselves will govern. This is the difference between what we are doing here and a political party. You know, In a political party, you have to call people, you have to have meetings with them, you have to have a disciplinary hearing, and then if they are in the wrong faction, then you fire them. But if they are in the right faction, you say, no, let us hold on to you. Don't stress. Because come Congress, you are going to vote for me. Right? You know, I use Uber from time to time. When you are in an Uber, when you get into an Uber, you tell the Uber where the Uber must go. And when you get to where you are going, you rate the Uber 4-star, 5-star, 3-star, whatever. I am here to tell you, Hori, what you are going to be is the Ubers of the community. Let the community tell you where you must go, how you must go there, and the community will rate you first. Secondly, I want to emphasize this pledge. Why we feel this election is about this pledge. The first point is that, of course, we want to depoliticize and professionalize local government. We have to end cadre deployment. We have to end nepotism. We have to replace it with a clean and an agile and a collaborative model of community-based governance. What ultimately means is that there must be a new partnership between civic society, business, religious grouping, and traditional leaders. I'm grateful when I speak to many traditional leaders who say, we are behind you. We support you. We can't be political, but our people are here. Because we are not political. You are there. We have to ensure that that works. Secondly, we want to ensure that municipalities are run by the best, by the most competent individuals. What Bishop Jones said earlier on is that these are citizens who must be honest, who are equipped and passionate about delivering basic services in a financially prudent and responsible manner. Local government is governed by the law. Local government says in simple terms, deliver for the people. It's in the Municipal Finance Management Act, it is in the Municipal Systems Act, and it states categorically, deliver. You know, even in the ward committees themselves have become so politicized that they become branches of political parties. We want ward committees that represent a coalition of civic society, of businesses, of communities, working in communities. But I want to say, we've got to restore the dignity of the people and quality services to all, and spearhead local government into an economic engine for job creation. We must, fellow South Africans, engage all citizens, bring communities, bring them regular feedback. Nothing frustrates people than lies. You are not going to get everything you want to do in the first year. But don't treat citizens like idiots. Tell them the truth. And I think people understand that. They appreciate the honesty when we go before them and say, look, maybe we in the IDP we can do this year and we can do that next year. But if we work together, we'll get there. We've got to honor the commitment that says the people shall govern. It says so in the Freedom Charter that we should strive together, sparing neither strength nor courage, and the people shall govern, and until democratic changes here have been won. Fellow South Africans, we've walked a long journey. We cannot allow our freedom to be captured by a few. The people are hungry. I'm going today to call upon all the respective associations that are here. As we sign this pledge to the people, we do so representing that actually this is about the people. We are not bound here by politics, because we're not political. We're bound here by values of Ubuntu. That timeless story that says, actually, we are because you are. That something that sits innately within us, whether you are black, white, Indian, or colored, that says together we can shape the future of our nation. And together we can work, together we can bring change. So I'm going to invite the various representatives to come here and sign this pledge. I've spoken to you about the principles that are here, because we want to work together. That's why I celebrate. Bako Michael, ke a ba bona, ke a ba tseba. Bako Jess Moroka. Re to ba betha mola go Mpumalanga. Ons ganele Paxla, is that correct? Michael. So fellow South Africans, I'm going to invite change to the local municipality in Gauteng. I'm going to invite the New Horizon movement to come up. Bato Diegena, Bishop, would you make your way? Baitlama. Bishop, over to you. You can sign where that it says there. While you are doing that, I'm going to invite the Mopani Independent Movement from Greater Letraba ko Limpopo. Halala bakwasikhopo. Awu batho bolbene sansaneli signed, sealed and delivered. I'll move this for you. Halala. Erigibiza wa kumupane, hao khosi mpusa. Halala. Koskhopo. I'm coming to visit there. We have a clinic to finish building there. Now I've already committee ki tlamile ke ya mola. Alala. Nzawucela abaphuma pha Eastern Cape kwe inokumgijima in the famous stadium, the Independence. Ken, khawuzu sign up ngoku. Kharsandre le ka mo re tla biletsa ba kwa le bua Kgomo Civic Organization. Aye ko lebko. Awa. Kana re na pare bolela. You stay here, Ken. Just stay up here if you don't mind. Michael. Erigi biche ba ko moretele Independent Civic Organization. Ba mola ko JS Moroka. Hosaina. Ogame match. Skoko. Dirina. Sharp. Tieke na mola. We tlame. So that how khanetsa ka mosor na I never agreed to these things because signature ke ntate. Halala from Moses Kotane local municipality. Banabatari. The only reason I wanted Banabatari is because Bakwa Maimane re tswa northwest. Yano ga ba sa fetole province re tlo sokola. Vavelege. Halala. Erege babitse. Ik wil proberen maar nou in Afrikaans laat zeggen. Die Cederberg local municipality. Cederberg eerste. Is there a representative who going to sign on that? Outware. Dankie tate. Abuilar dankie hangwe. Dankie habedi. Following on from the Western Cape, the Knysna Independent Movement. Kim, Mark, sign. Maybe this time I'll get it right. Go. From the Free State, Barangwate Residents Association. Bagay kibale ba ipitsa parisi ka sekgale mare ba go ngwate. Re fetsa ka AC no. Ka bupi. Ukubuya pha Nelson Mandela Bay kaloku. The Mandela Bay Community Movement. Masieni? Cheers. Now to the city of Cape Town. the one movement for Cape Town. They want to build. I've met with them. They are everywhere. They are watching live from a war room there in Cape Town. Trouble. And then last but not least, the Drakensberg, the Transforming Drakensberg Community Forum. Harrientate. I'm going to ask all the people who have signed if you can remain here. Michael, if you can come and join us. I'm going to ask everybody just to stand up, fellow South Africans. Let's give everybody a special round of applause, if you wouldn't mind. But I dare highlight that, my fellow South Africans, what sits on this ballot in this election is the future of our nation. We are not just going to vote. We are going to vote because of the future of our nation. These communities here represent millions and millions of citizens. They represent communities from a diverse range. And that's why there's a beauty of working directly with the people. This is equally so the beginning of a journey towards 2024. Because while we change at local government, soon we want to change at national government. That's why the direct election bill must be passed. The Concord has already ruled Parliament mustn't be sleeping. Hey, Bali, but let's borrow too much. You know, we have had no Parliament for the last year. We've been run by fellow South Africans every Sunday. No Parliament. Hey. But my fellow South Africans, I want to say this to you. This is a moment in our country. This is a time. Let us bring change. I want you to remember one thing. I arrived in Zambia, where I can remember going to the stadium at the inauguration of Hakainde Hichilema. When I got there, I was startled by the number of young people who attended. It was young people who took it upon themselves and said, we demand change in our country. Many people said Hakainde would never win, that change would never come, that in fact the obstacles were too stacked up, that they had no money, they have no organization, they have all of that. But against all odds, they stood up, and today I can celebrate that we have President Hakainde Hichilema in Zambia. Many people will say it here in South Africa, that maybe Neisner will never change, that maybe JS Moroka will never change, that maybe Mwate will never change. Because you know what? The political parties are too entrenched, they're too strong, they are too powerful. I am here to send them one message. Change is coming, and 1st of November is Independent Day. Let us go forward. Let us make sure we can bring change. It is time. Kinako. May God bless South Africa. God bless our nation. Amanda! Amanda! Kere ho ya rona, ho ya rona, ho ya rona. Kere ho ya rona, ho ya rona, ho ya rona. Iring makwala cheche, a cheche le morao, o ya rona ba pelo tse thata. Iring makwala cheche, a cheche le morao, o ya rona. Ah, kere ho ya rona.